I'm Superantonio. And we're live. Greetings, friends. Happy Friday, and welcome back to Free Roam Fridays, where we free roam with Arthur in Chapter 2. Now live in Red Dead Redemption 2. Sadie's here. She says hello. Our co-host Sadie, the channel dog, tells us to like and subscribe for more Red Dead Redemption 2 content. And coming soon, a Last of Us Part 1 playthrough and commentary live. We'll be doing that on Saturdays. Peter Walsdorf says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Peter. And he says, got my kitchen redone, new cabinets, countertops, and new sink. Well done, Peter. That's very expensive, even if you didn't do it yourself. I mean, you can do it yourself, but yeah, it's super expensive to get that done, but it's worth it. I mean, it's your biggest investment, your house, and a lot of people say that the kitchen is the heart and soul of your home. That's where all the love comes from. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's an important day-to-day aspect that is often neglected, I think. So it adds a lot, not only to the value of your home, but to the value of your daily life. Hugo Stiglitz says, hey, Antonio and chat. Greetings, Hugo. How are you, friend? We are back in Chapter 2. Got to knock out some missions. We got to raise some cash. We have $43.49. What's that about? And we're going to have to get camp upgrades and weapon upgrades. I know we could just get some gold bars, but I like to raise money the old-fashioned way. That involves earning it, I guess. Mama 1 and Papa 1 are here. Say hi to Mama 1 and Papa 1. Greetings, Mama 1. Mama 1 says, hey, family, and Papa 1 says, hey, gang. Sadie says, hi, Mama 1, and hello, Papa 1. Peter got a new kitchen, cabinets and sink and stuff.
Okay, boy.
So I know you two could talk about that. Peter, did you get new appliances as well? I know a lot about remodeling. I remodeled a house. That's when I got her. We were remodeling a house. I personally wasn't doing anything except writing the checks. Irritating, but it still counts. Peter says, hi, Mama and Papa 1. What was I going to say? How's your week? How's your week, everyone? How are you? How the devil are you? I should say, how the angel are you? Toughest Teak Mountain Man incoming. Mama 1 says, hey, Peter, I bet your cabinets are beautiful. What are your cabinets like, Mama 1? I know you just remodeled your kitchen. And you said you got a dream kitchen. And Peter says, no new appliances.
Arthur, come here. Come over here.
I might get a new fridge. I'm thinking about it. I would like, I do like those stainless steel fridges. Just something that's quieter and more energy efficient. I'm thinking about it. There's so many other things I'd rather have. I'd rather have a, I'd rather have an infinite amount of things. I think I don't know if I'd get a PS5 before I got a new fridge. They're about the same price. And again, I would get more value out of a fridge right now, I think, than a PS5. But that's just me. And Peter says, yes, they are all white cabinets. I'm a big fan of the natural look, the Swedish, Scandinavian, like that really light wood, Baltic birch, just light yellow, just nice and bright. But I also like, chrome and, and black and just modern and high tech. Peter says, thanks, Papa 1. And Papa 1 said, hey, Peter, congrats on the new kitchen. Katie moved under the desk. What's that about? 10 viewers in chat. Welcome, friends. Appreciate you being here. Happy Friday. Free Roam Fridays returns in Red Dead Redemption 2. Saturdays, we will be finishing the Bad Honor live stream. Tomorrow night is the final missions of Chapter 6. It's going to be called My Last Redemption, I think. No, My Last Best Redemption. It's going to be a little longer, like 90 minutes, 2 hours maybe. So we can knock that out, and then we will do like a little bit of the epilogue. We're going to do the wheel, and send John over to First Bank of Aberdeen to collect Arthur's cash, and then we move on to The Last of Us, which is what I was working on all week. Now I don't really want to talk about it because we're going to do its own stream, but you know I'm loving that game. I am. Not as much as this one, but I can see what the big deal is. It's a wonderful game. I'm really enjoying it. But we'll talk about it more. To be continued. Mom one says, my cabinets are all white. I had several installed above our sink, and then we had 2 more giant cabinets made for supplies and stuff. Sounds good, Mama one. Papa one says, we are doing well. Just finished up with some farm work, and tonight we decided to sit out on the porch with my beautiful wife and enjoy a Cuban cigar my son gifted me from a surprise visit this week. And Peter says, wish I could take a picture of it to share with the chat. I know what you mean, Peter, but it's like media share on this. Media share live is complicated because you really need a producer to help you vet it. Even though this channel and these live streams aren't really big enough to warrant that. But yeah, the bigger ones, the bigger channels that do media shares from viewers, they got producers. And I have a 4-legged producer who is now under the table, currently resting on my foot. You just heard her grabbing a bone. Somehow that's more important than a live stream, I guess. Here, show everyone your bone here. I think it's a cow bone. There. She's looking at her bone. She can barely get it in her mouth. Papa one says, this is one of my all-time favorite missions in the game. Making new friends, Arthur. Takes me back to the old days when I was young and the crew and our crew was in its peak. Riding with my dad, we always went to bars wherever we traveled.
Javier and Charles, I've missed you. And Bill, looking as well as can be. Gentlemen,
they have a line in this episode where someone says, Bill, Arthur asks, where's Bill? And they say, there's Bill. He comes in and he accidentally bumps into a guy. And I think Javier says, is he going to fight that guy or kiss him? Something like that. Because everyone knew. Everyone knew about Bill. And just didn't talk about it.
Well, then we're dead men for sure. There'll be Pinkertons all over the place, but if he's alive, we gotta try. Yeah, of course.
It's you they want, Dutch.
I still want to make a short about that.
Charles, go find out what you can, carefully.
Papa one says this was in the days where you could settle your differances with fist fighting without going to jail or being sued. Usually at least.
Well, exactly. What about
Yeah, an assault charge. You can get an assault charge just for touching someone these days. Just for touching. And, of course, spitting. That's assault. Gotta clean up. And what happened to our horse? Stable is not open yet. We're going to collect an iron gray Ardennes. A male. And we manipulated that Iron Gray Ardennes into a female off stream. Don't ask how. It involves sleeping and waking up and going back to the stable and collecting a new one. But I didn't want to do that on this stream just because it takes too much time.
Come on, sir.
Who's your friend?
What really happened at Sylvia's saloon back in
Papa wants continues. Back then, cops used to allow it as long as both sides agreed. Now, we did have times where we got into trouble. My dad was a great man, but he never turned down a fight. He was of that generation, Papa One. There's a song by Tom Petty, I believe. I Won't Back Down. Johnny Cash did a cover of it.
Funny thing about pigs' penises, they're curly like.
Sadie moved to her crate. I have my coffee tonight. I have a coffee and a green tea. Because I don't think this coffee will last.
This is Jim Boy Calloway. The Jim Boy Calloway.
Who?
The gunslinger. Fastest
Yeah, we'll do
left-handed
these
draw
missions.
that ever
I
drew
mean,
breath.
these side
He
missions. Why
once
not?
killed 14 men
It's
in a
free
fight
roam
at
Fridays. We'll
Lucy
do,
Hall.
I think, pretty much up to the train robbery.
I reckon right now.
We will get Micah out of jail just so that we can get our offhand. I know we can do some challenges and get one from the trapper, but we have the Nueva Paraíso Ultimate Edition gun belt, and I believe it comes with it also has a custom offhand, but we need to see. That is the reason we are getting the. We're gonna get Micah out of jail.
What's your name?
I don't have a name.
But you are a gunslinger.
Not really.
Back to handsome Arthur.
Shooting,
So
I
happy
tried
about
shooting
that.
back.
I missed
All
Arthur.
that other stuff, it's, well, bunk.
But you fought duels.
Once upon a time.
The character of Joel
And you ain't
from
interested in fame.
The Last of Us. I liked him
But you like
almost
fortune.
immediately. I'm not sure what it is about him.
Then forgive me,
Like, it
mister,
took me
if I
a
seem
little bit to
desperate.
warm up to Arthur.
I am a
I
little
mean, it
desperate.
wasn't.
This book, I've got to make a thing of it, and well, there's.
I
a
think it
whole
was
list of
sometime in
gunfighters,
chapter 2
legends,
where I decided
every
that
last
I
one.
liked this character,
Emmett
but I
Granger,
immediately liked
Flacco Hernandez,
Joel, and
Billy
we're gonna have to
Midnight, Black Bell.
think about that, try to analyze
Maybe
why
you
that
could go and
happened.
speak to them. Ask them about Calloway. Any of them get uppity.
Sometimes, it's like there are characters that, on TV and media and movies that you immediately like the first time you see them,
Sad, deluded fools
and then
like
others
you.
that just
Ask
kind of
if he
grow
was
on
the
you.
greatest, and then if they get uppity, shoot 'em.
Does
But
sound
it's
a lot
interesting
worse
that
than
it
did in
happened
my head.
in a video game.
Well, a lot. Half the proceeds of the book, if you help me get it written.
Peter says total of 13 cabinets and 4 drawers. Lucky 13, Peter. Well done. Are you a chef, Peter? Do you like to cook? Are you going to be taking advantage of that, or is that something that your girlfriend is going to be dealing with? And Mama One says Papa One and my father-in-law liked fighting. Saturday night's all right for fighting. Get a little action in. I used to worry, but several of our crew would get into it with others. Papa One, I'm sure you remember the Mississippi State Fair of 1981. And Mama One says, Peter, how long did it take to get your kitchen refurbished?
Items, please. The train is on its way. Welcome, welcome.
What the?
You got postage? It all set to go?
Old Elton John. Well, vintage Elton John. I love Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Your Song. Yeah. Saturday night's all right for fighting. Peter says, where are you from, Mama and Papa One, if I may ask? They are sons and daughters of the South, from the great state of Lemoyne. But they'll tell you. It's public knowledge in the chat. So I'll let them tell you. Picking up some berries for potent predator bait and also to feed the horse. Even though we shall be opening the stables. Market took a beating this week. What's that about? But I see downturns like this as opportunity to buy the dip. Everything's on sale. So it's counterintuitive. Your portfolio goes down and then you throw a bunch more money into it to get it back up again. But it's like I believe in what's the current economic policy. I believe in it, and stocks always go up consistently over time. Not that I'm a financial advisor, or in my not so humble opinion, it's a good term. It's a good investment for the long term, and everything's on sale. So why not pick something up at a discount? Mama one says Texas originally, then we moved to Georgia in the early 70s. And Peter says, just a few days, I live in a supported apartment setting. I'm getting a roommate soon. Interesting, Peter. Is this a romantic roommate? Or a paying roommate? Papa one says the Mississippi State Fair was a huge horse event in those days. They would have horse breaking contests and tons of other activities. They also sold cheap beer and liquor. Plus, a lot of guys had, to be continued. And Peter says, nice mama and Papa one, the Dukes of Hazzard was filmed in Georgia. Just some good old boys, never meaning no harm.
What are you hunting? An elephant?
I wish. No. I saw a huge bear. One of the biggest I ever saw. I reckon nearly 1,000 pounds.
Waylon Jennings, I think.
Look, you need me to come with you.
He sang.
Let's go.
He wrote and sang the Dukes of Hazzard theme, I believe. Pop one continues. Plus, a lot of guys had moonshine and things could get intense with competitions. It was usually fun, but there were sore losers and some sore winners. My dad had got heated with someone who he didn't realize was related.
This one's okay, but ain't no boat to see.
I apologize for doing this at night. I should have moved it on to the day, but really the only goal here was to get the Iron Gray and to open the stables. Let's take him to Valentine. I like how Hosea says that.
Let's take him to Valentine. It's on the way.
Peter says, no, my girlfriend is not moving in with me. I wish, though. LOL. No, you don't, Peter. Very, changes things when they move in. Does. And sometimes it's for the better. Mama and Papa one. David and Chrissy. But a lot of times it's not. And Papa one continues, someone who was related to the fair owner, and the cops warned us we would get arrested if any sides got into it again. Well, those jerks kept pushing my dad and some of our crew. Probably because they thought they could. Thought they were protected.
Some beautiful saddles. I used to have a real nice one.
Yeah, what happened to that?
Got stolen outside that saloon in
Here comes the Bill and Phil moment.
I remember now. Just
Who was Phil?
that turned into
Did he work in Blackwater? Was he a bartender in Blackwater? With was he? Does Kieran remind Bill of Phil? Did he have big brown eyes? Was he a young lad? Or is Phil an old army buddy?
I miss those boys.
Jenny too. She had some spot, that girl.
I would assume that's where Bill discovered his sexuality in the army. Surrounded by all those young men, a young man himself, camping overnight in tents.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Just feel a bit like our luck died with them, too.
Taking showers together.
We'll be all right. Just need some money to get back on our feet.
I'm sorry, I apologize. I have to amuse myself sometimes. I have to make myself laugh.
They're still very hot. Need to be done right.
They didn't actually take showers in 1899. They were still doing baths. One guy, Papa One continues, started really messing with a longtime crew member named Henry, who was former Amish. He was freshly out of the Amish and was still new to the world. My dad was extremely protective of Henry, so he intervened.
Stables are just up ahead.
Look at those stables with the open doors.
All right. Go sell that big
Go sell that big brute and
buy yourself a horse.
buy yourself a horse. Okay, Hosea. We are not going to sell the big brute.
Meet you back here in a bit.
Hey,
And we're going to get ourselves an Iron Grey Ardennes.
I'm in the market for a new horse. Something strong and fast.
Yeah, well, you're in the right place. I got some beauties in at the moment. Yeah. And what about this
Papa
one
One
here?
continues, and the guy that was messing with Henry made a slur about my mom, and at that point Dad was drunk enough and didn't care anymore, so he broke his liquor bottle over the guy's head.
That's gonna affect what I can pay.
Ow, that
Your
hurts.
luck's in. I got a fella who's been looking for a decent workhorse like this for
And
a
I've said
while.
it before, but this
Pay a good
gentleman has
price.
the most magnificent
Otherwise, I can always
mustache
stable him here for you.
in Valentine.
Yeah, take a look.
We're keeping him, and we can get a Morgan, the reverse dapple thoroughbred, or the Iron Grey Ardennes. We're naming them Superantonio. Papa One says, and needless to say, it all went down, and our crew went in, and my dad and me spent the night in the police station. Courtesy of Mississippi law enforcement. Oh well. Glad you're not doing that now, Papa One. Because it's a different time. West has tamed a bit. We also have a Nueva Paraíso saddle, which is a nice little upgrade. It'll do for now until we get the rattlesnake. I guess we'll get all the saddles just because we can. And Mama One says, and we were banned for 5 years, LOL.
All right, partner. You got yourself a deal. And a fine
And a
horse.
complimentary
I hope so. Well, I
grooming
don't
brush.
sell anything other than good animals. You have my word on that.
Also carrots and sugar cubes, but I think we
Here
bought
are
them
your
already.
papers. And on me, a new grooming brush and some treats.
Appreciate it.
All right, you treat this fella well. I know he's gonna look after you just fine.
Papa One says we weren't banned necessarily. We just mutually agreed our crew wouldn't come to the fair for 5 years.
All right, let's get going. We got quite a ride ahead of us.
Lead the way. So, what's this lake we're heading for?
It's
So
called
lead the way.
O'Craig's Run, up in the mountains east of Cumberland Falls. I just hope I can remember how to get there.
Back into the mountains. I sure didn't figure on that.
But this time, we're doing the chasing.
Look how much taller the Ardennes is than Silver Dollar. Turkoman.
Time you let it go now?
That Ardennes is a big butt. A little too big for my tastes.
I've spoken to him many times. He knows he did.
Mom once says, or you would get another tour of the police station.
I'm sure he does. Running off on that kid is one thing, but there's code. He knows that.
Yeah, it's not like Arthur getting arrested.
Dutch and you pretty much
Peter says, is that horse a DLC horse? It is it is the pre-order bonus horse. So
else would have been welcome back.
so it's kind of a DLC.
And you know it.
I'd call it a BLC. Bonus loadable content. A BDLC. You know, how much was this game when it came out? This game was like $50, I think, and then the Ultimate Edition was like 79 or 80, because they're talking about GTA 6 being over $100 for the base edition, and Mario Kart is like $80. The new Mario Kart. Pop One says, Mama One could have pulled an Abigail and knocked the cop out and got us out.
That's the lake there.
She could have.
We made
She
it.
didn't.
Let's loop
I should
around the
really
other
be
side.
heading back over to Great Plains.
'Cause,
to see about Sean.
Mama One has sense.
Bounty hunters who've got him?
So Trelawney says. Javier and Charles have gone with him to scope it out.
Pretty dangerous going anywhere near Blackwater.
Yeah, it's pretty in the moonlight, but I really wish we were doing this during the day.
Of course. Look there. Rabbits. Maybe we should catch one to cook.
Sure.
Catch a rabbit.
Try and shoot one.
You don't want
We
to
accidentally
get
shot it.
powerful on a small animal like that. Just ruin the meat. Best thing's a bow or a 22 caliber varmint rifle.
Couldn't be helped.
I've hunted rabbits before, you know.
Yes. And obliterated them with a shotgun if I remember right.
Papa One says, you're right about that, Super Antonio, and somehow she puts up with me. We are all lucky that she puts up with you, Papa One. It's a blessing. And it's good for the chat to see a successful relationship. It gives the chat hope. To see a successful working relationship. I think that's important. The chat doesn't see enough of that in popular culture and media or in their lives. A lot of single moms, a lot of broken homes. Peter says, I paid around $60 for Red Dead 2 when it came out in 2018 on Black Friday at Walmart.
We should camp here.
Sure.
Yeah, I got the Ultimate Edition for $40. Black Friday from the PS4 site. So I got a digital Ultimate Edition. And then I got a regular one,
They're delicious.
I think for full price, because I wanted the Steelbook.
Fine by me.
But The Last of Us was $19.99.
You want some?
And so far it's worth it. It seems worth it to me.
I don't like eating this late.
I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
And then Batman Arkham Knight is $14.99. $15. So for a third of the price of GTA 6, we get 2 new games, new to us, 2 quality games.
All right. Well,
and a whole lot of content. Content for the rest of the year.
I want to be up at
Well,
first
no,
light
not the
to
rest of the
find
year.
some
Take us into summer. Mama one for half of the year. Mama one says, "Well, I appreciate the kind word, Super Antonio. I hope everyone can pick up a thing or two from us. Hopefully, it's good things, mostly, and not the state fair fight." It's very good things, Mama one. You're a good example for everyone.
You ready?
Oh, give me a minute.
Coffee?
I love how
There you go.
Hosea hands Arthur coffee.
So,
He always does it.
what's your plan?
Well, we'll see if we can track him, but we
Sharing a
might need
cup
to
of
lay bait
coffee
to
over
draw
the
them.
open campfire. He
There's
let
that
Arthur
fish,
sleep in.
obviously, but they also have a sweet
He's known him since he
tooth.
was
A lot of
12.
fellas bait
Watched
and
him grow
shoot
into a
from the
man.
trees, but I prefer to hunt on the ground. More
Mama one
dangerous.
says, "Yeah, Mama one, I have. I heard The Last of Us 2 was bad. Have you
And
seen that?"
if he bolts, we can start right off after
Yeah,
him.
I have, and
You
we'll
mix
we'll
up
get
this
into
bait
it.
for me while I finish packing
We
something.
will get
Fish,
into it because
bears. Tie it up in that
I
rope
know
and,
I know what happens in The Last of Us Part 2, and it makes me angry, like a lot of people were who loved The Last of Us Part 1 for what they did. How could I explain it? Imagine Red Dead 3, where at the start of Red Dead 3, Arthur. Well, no, that wouldn't work because Arthur already died.
Let's go.
Let me see. I don't know. I'll have to think about it more. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
How's that
It's like
horse treating you?
So far,
Last
so
of Us
good.
Part 2 is
I
was
in
made
this area
for
with Bessie years
a
ago.
gaming audience that doesn't exist.
I imagine you still miss it.
That was
Every day.
Did you two ever
doing a lot of
think
peaceful
about getting out of the
protests in
lab?
2020
We did briefly. You don't remember?
and complaining and dyeing their hair blue. And it's the same audience that is keying Teslas.
Back into it.
And
She understood. She knew what I
they don't
was.
play video games.
I
And
remember you not being around
yeah.
for a while, but
I have a lot to
things
say
were
about
looser
it.
back then.
And we'll get into it when I start The Last of Us
There's
stream.
never really any getting out and staying in.
Papa one says, "I'm convinced Hosea didn't go to sleep. He just stayed in that chair all night. Maybe he slept in the chair."
Why? You thinking about getting out?
Me? No, of course not.
And Peter says, "My Red Dead game came with the Steelbook. It was the base game, no DLCs included."
Really new. Maybe we can all have a new
I can't
start.
recall if I have the Steelbook. I assumed it was an Ultimate Edition.
Let's look by the water
Maybe it
here,
wasn't.
See if he's been fishing again recently.
As I recall, you had to download all the Ultimate Edition stuff. They gave you a code
Dung, bones, any
so you
sign
could
of it.
upgrade. But it's not like you got an extra disc or. But yeah,
Well, there's some paw marks here, Hosea.
we've been playing this game for so long.
Good. Let's hope it's him. Can you tell which way he went?
And there's nothing that compares with it, really.
This way. Tracks. Go into those trees.
Miko Herptile says, "Hello, Super Antonio, Sadie, mods, and everyone. Greetings, Miko.
Wait a
We
minute.
miss Sadie. She's already asleep.
Something on the ground here.
She's asleep in her crate."
Must have been
Mom wants to say, "Hey, Miko," and Pop wants to say, "Hey, Miko."
See if there's
Welcome,
anything
Miko.
else.
Greetings, friend. What was I gonna say? Oh, so cute last night. Sadie was talking in her sleep. She was murmuring in her sleep. It was really funny. You know, she'd have these like just these deep breathing. I was watching. What was I watching? I don't know. Probably Hannibal or something awful on TV. And we were in bed. And she's asleep by my side, and she's and so I'd hear this deep, heavy breathing, and then like,
You lost him?
now.
but she wasn't.
Little
I mean, she
optimism,
wasn't whimpering, and she wasn't you know, her body language was relaxed. She wasn't like tense or anything. She wasn't having a nightmare or anything.
Bait here.
That could work.
She was just talking in her sleep.
Okay. I'll head this way.
It was pretty funny.
You head down that track.
I'm not sure what that was about. Miko says, hello, Peter, Hugo, Mama 1, and Papa 1. Got some ice water. Thirsty work, live streaming.
Shoot that thing, please!
We tried something new with this legendary bear. And also, we didn't have any explosive rounds. Or rather, we had them, but I forgot to load them. So we had to take them down with regular rounds. Mama 1 says, I got into Red Dead Redemption 2 a little late, around circa 2020. So I admit I didn't like Chapter 1 at first. I loved Chapter 1. I was immediately transfixed. I wanted to play as John, not Arthur. Now I only have one John playthrough, which is the original, as I just adore Arthur Morgan. Same here. I loved the game when it started, but the character of Arthur Morgan,
What is it?
It's a map.
I didn't really
A man
start
in a bar gave it to me. Well, I stole it from him.
liking him until sometime in Chapter 2.
Where to
We're
find
bad
some
men,
real big
but we
guy.
ain't them.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. You saved my life, Arthur.
You know, I wasn't seeing him
Going
as
back to
more than a
camp
playable
to
character
lick my
until
wounds.
later.
You coming, or you gonna track that monster?
Whereas Joel in Last of Us, it was immediately.
I'm gonna stick around here for a while.
He sits down on the couch, and you're like, I like this man. I don't understand why. But we'll get into it. Mama 1 says, first playthrough, I admit I got absolutely manhandled by the legendary grizzly. Yeah, everyone does. It's a rite of passage. And even now, we load up on tonics. And Big Boss is back and says, hello, I am here again. Greetings, Big Boss. Okay, we're going to do something new this time. And Peter says, Super Antonio, did you do a full playthrough of GTA 5? Yes and no. I mean, I've done one for me, but I don't have, like, I didn't do a full playthrough on the channel, no. Just because it wasn't pulling in any views. Wasn't helping us.
Must be close.
Mom 1 says, I felt he was going to be just a filler character that just shows how the events of Red Dead 1 came to be, but I just loved his character development. Yeah, same here, Mama 1. I just thought he'd be like this. I mean, I love him more than John. See, there he is. And, yeah, it's just like regular bears and cougars, where you can claim the high ground. We made a short out of this. Short did okay. Oh, I wanted to talk to you about shorts. See? So that's 3 express rounds. 4, 5, 6. Takes 6 express rounds to take him down. And Mama 1 wants to bring back GTA 5 commentary for an occasional stream. I enjoyed hearing your thoughts. Yeah, maybe. We'll do some filler. We're going to do Arkham Knight, though. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm Batman. That's going to be fun. What was I going to say? Oh, okay, yeah, shorts. The algorithm has changed how they count shorts, how they count views on shorts. When, if you notice, like if you run your cursor over a video in your feed, it'll start playing. you know, it'll just like autoplay, but you know, it's like, and you might be annoyed by that. You know, I'm a little bit annoyed by that. You know, it's like a little preview of the video, and they are counting that as a view. So Cloudy's here. Greetings, Cloudy. And so it doesn't mean anything for you guys, but it's great for content creators and YouTubers. And it's not, you know, so a video that, or a short that would like get perhaps 100 views organically are now getting like 1,000 views because they're counting they're counting the previews, and they're doing that for advertisers so they can charge more. Say, look at this video, it got 1,000 views. And it's very rare that the algorithm works in my favor these days, regrettably, but it is working now, and the shorts are just taking off. And you know, it's a little, you know, it helps the channel. It moves it higher in the up in the algorithm and the feeds and stuff, because more views and more likes and some subs. It's, you know, money wise, you know, it's like an extra 50 cents a day. It's, you know, it adds up, but it's not, you know, it's not about the money. It's about the exposure. Oh, Papa One. Papa One, I have a joke for you. I have a Trump joke for you. I'm glad you're here. I've been keep forgetting to tell you this, and the algorithm poked up its ears. Trump joke. The algorithm likes that. The algorithm is like, you know, currently it's like rubbing its hands together because it's going to promote this video and move it to the top of the your suggested videos, because he's going to tell a Trump joke. But spoiler alert, algorithm, this is Trump's joke. He told this joke. Okay, and it makes me laugh. Okay, what's the difference between Donald Trump's hair and a wet raccoon? Does anyone know? What is the difference between Donald Trump's hair and a wet raccoon? And the answer is, a wet raccoon doesn't have $8 billion in the bank. I hope you laughed at that, because I think it's hilarious. And it's very true. Oh, well, yeah, sorry, algorithm, but it is technically a Trump joke. What are you guys talking about here? Miko says a lot of Red Dead 1 players didn't like Arthur at first. After a while, they were like, John who? Yes, I agree, Miko. And Papa One says, hey, Cloudy. And Miko says, hey, Cloudy and Big Boss. And Mama One says, amen, Miko. And Big Boss says, hello to Miko. And Mama One says, but John's death in Red Dead 1 had me thinking this can't be how it ends, because I was used to pretty much all GTA 5 characters having plot armor. So Edgar Ross and his crew shocked me. And Big Boss says, yeah, I can't say much about sad. Never played GTA or a Red Dead game without knowing the end. But GTA 6 will be different, I hope. It's going to be different, Big Boss, just not in the ways that you hope. It's going to be very different. It was made in the past 5 years. And it's going to reflect the politics and the current ideologies of the past 5 years, which are radically different than how people are thinking current day. Just imagine Snow White, Rachel Ziegler's Snow White in Grand Theft Auto 6, because that's what you're going to get. But I may be wrong, you never know. I'm often wrong. Papa One says, I love when someone can make a joke about themselves and still come out on top. Yeah, it's a wonderful joke, Papa One. I hope you tell it to your friends at the what is that called? The VFA? Down at the VFA? And Cloudy says, oh, by the way, Arkham Knight is the last Batman game. The first one is Arkham Asylum, but you can play it in any order. They show what happened in the past games. Cloudy, yes, we're going to be playing Arkham Knight. I understand it's the last one. Just because I saw a playthrough of it, then I really liked it, and you can play as Catwoman. Woof. But yeah, if it goes well, I will play the other two games, which you can buy. They come in one disc or like in one set. The VFW. Papa One says, yes, Papa One. You can tell that joke at the VFW. Yeah, Big Boss, you will be playing GTA 6 blind. I'm playing Last of Us as blind as I can. I mean, I know basically how it ends, but you know, it's like I'm not like familiar with any of the missions. Papa One says the Snow White remake was a dumpster fire. I've never rooted for a poison apple so much. It's so sad. That girl can sing. That girl, you know, she's professionally trained. She can sing her heart out. She's just, you know, she's just too political. Like, you know, like all, well, like a lot of kids her age. And she doesn't, you know, like, you know, movie stars are the tip of a spear. You know, they've got like so many people behind them, supporting them, putting them up on their shoulders. That, and but they represent the movie, and she's selling it as best she sees fit. And also, you know, I can't get into it. I can't. But her opinions on certain co-stars and what nation they come from, and the problems that nation is having with certain populations that are canceling babies. Anyways, I can't get into it because the algorithm was already happy because I told a Trump joke, and now I'm ruining it. What's that about? Cloudy says, are you enjoying The Last of Us? Cloudy, I love that game so much. I have it here. Did you see? I've been playing it all week. I didn't really want to talk about it because I want to talk about it on, you know, on The Last of Us live streams. But yeah, it is so much fun. See, even Sadie is enjoying The Last of Us. She likes Ellie. See? Yeah, I've been playing it all week and it's so much fun. I mean, you know, I like Joel almost immediately. You know, first cutscene when he sits down, when he just plops down on the couch. He's a working man, and I was like, I like this man. I like him. I like his relationship with Sarah. Spoiler alert. Oh, watch this. It's funny. I made a short out of it. Boom. Tall horse. Yeah, I'm loving it, Cloudy. It's my new favorite game. Don't love it as much as this one. It's a different kind of game. You know, it's like, but definitely, you know, I mean, I love the Resident Evil franchise, and to me, it's kind of like a American Resident Evil. Big Boss says, sorry for my bad English. I am from Germany. Shout out to Deutschland, Big Boss. But I like to learn more English in future because I like English. Well, we like Germans. BMWs, Bavarian Motorworks, Mercedes, Hugo Boss. I'm not wearing Hugo Boss tonight, but I will wear Hugo Boss tomorrow night in your honor, Big Boss. Mom one says she may be trained professionally, but her mental state is not fit, LOL. Well, she's a kid. You know, she was raised in that machine. But yeah, she's got a wonderful voice. She does. I mean, I have to admit it, but all those people do. You know, it's like that went through that machine, that Disney machine. So it doesn't really mean anything. Papa one says, it will come with time, my friend. Just don't be frustrated or discouraged, and you will be surprised how fast the progress comes, Big Boss. Big Boss says, I can speak good English, but the writing is the problem. You're doing great, Big Boss, and I appreciate you being here. Mama one says, does Last of Us have replayability like Free Roam? I do not believe so. Cloudy would know the answer to that. But then why would you? It's like post-apocalyptic horribleness to free roam in. Maybe, but I don't think I'd ever free roam in it.
Let's go.
And, you know, it's, we'll get into it. It's like the crafting is okay. It's subpar. And, you know, but, you know, I'm just trying to get through the game right now. I just want to play the game. Excuse me. She doesn't like when I get emotional. She thinks I'm talking to her. But I'm not looking at her. So how could I be talking to her? Papa one says, I've spoken and written in English all my life, and sometimes I can't make a coherent sentence. It's a tricky language. And Papa one says, don't get me started on the slang these kids use nowadays. Big Boss, I do not play online mode in Red Dead. This is not really an online channel. Serena does. Star Hearts, I think you've talked to her. She is our online correspondent for all things Red Dead Online. She's staring at, Sadie is staring at the treat jar full of potent canine bait. Miko, and she can barely keep her eyes open. That's for you, my friend. Swapping out for the unruly bastard. And Cloudy says, Mama one, no, it's not free roam for Last of Us. Yeah, I wouldn't expect it to be, but it is a wonderful game that I highly recommend, and it is cheap. Big Boss says, all right, I played sometimes, but not all the time. And we kept the Mahogany Bay for now.
Sorry, boy.
Mama one says, love the unruly bastard. Always try to keep him. He's ponderously slow. He's got, you know, he's so big. He has, you know, he's so gentle. You know, you can't push him. He has no stamina. I don't know if I've ever taken him into combat. He's not good at hunting. But we'll do some field tests and stuff just so that we can make some shorts out of it. Cloudy says, The Last of Us Part 2 has a little bit of free roam. Yes, if you want to free roam as a muscular XY that identifies as a woman, a pretty girl in a sundress. Yeah, if you want to. The algorithm was so happy about me telling a Trump joke. Cloudy, were you here for the Trump joke? And now I'm ruining it with my train phobia. Miko says nothing like a treat before going back to sleep. Eh, Sadie? LOL. Yeah, he does like potent canine bait. Big Boss says, Papa One says, yeah, well, writing is not the easiest. Even in German, I have trouble from time to time writing problems. Papa One says, Sadie wakes up for a treat. Reminds me of people who randomly wake up at night to smoke a cigarette and then fall right back asleep. I saw, I think it was an Instagram post or something where they were talking about puddle water is cigarettes for dogs. And yeah, did anyone ever notice this random tombstone here? We made a short out of it that did quite well. The name isn't significant. He might be in the credits. What was I going to say? Yeah, puddle water for dogs. So yeah, I do not let her drink puddle water. But she's always interested in it. It's a different kind of water. Cloudy says, no, I wasn't. Was it a good joke? And Papa One says, yes, Cloudy, it was. LOL. Okay, Cloudy, I'll tell you it. It's a Trump joke. But, you know, spoiler alert, Trump said it. He said it in one of his speeches. He goes, what is the difference? I should do it in his voice. I can't really do his voice. What's the difference between Donald Trump's hair and a wet raccoon? What is the difference between a wet raccoon and Donald Trump's hair? And the difference is a wet raccoon doesn't have $8 billion in the bank. Arthur's favorite bounty hunter camp is vanishing as we speak. Big Boss asks, what would you guys love to see in Red Dead 3? I don't think we'll see a Red Dead 3, regrettably. Big Boss. Pop One says, I know little bits and pieces of German, Big Boss. My dad never spoke it too much. Only occasionally, when watching German films, he would translate for us. Well, yeah, I know German from, you know, World War II films and stuff. Verstehen, Achtung, Ich liebe dich. Fraulein. What else? Can I compose a sentence? Danke schön, Fraulein. Ich liebe dich. Wo ist der Bank? Geradeaus. Peter says, I got a joke. Why should you knock on the fridge door? I don't know what that joke, I don't know the answer, and it's still hilarious to me, Peter. Okay, why should you knock on the fridge door? And Cloudy says, oh, he said that joke a long time ago, LOL. Cloudy into the joke. Yeah, I love that joke. It was pretty funny. But I was saying, Cloudy, that the algorithm was really happy because it hears something like Trump joke, and it immediately moves me up the list of suggested videos. Gets more people watching, gets more eyeballs on the channel. Oh, Peter says, because the salad could be dressing. I love bad puns. I do. I don't know why. Well done, Peter. Pop One says he used a lot during World War II, but after that he kind of quit, except on certain occasions. So speaking German, I will say he prayed a lot in German. He always did so, especially if it was a serious situation. That's about all I got for you tonight. Shout out to the channel members. couldn't do it without you, friends. Mom one says, I love corny puns. And you love corn. I'll keep the chat going for a little bit so you guys can talk amongst yourselves. I really appreciate you being here. Bad Honor Commentary returns tomorrow night. Like and subscribe. It's the last one, second to last one technically. We'll be doing a little bit of the epilogue, but we will be finishing Chapter 6 and taking that final ride with Cerberus tomorrow night. And then we're back onto L.A. Noir, which is also coming to an end. At any rate, friends, appreciate you being here. Shout out to the mods, Mama 1 and Papa 1 and Miko. Great talking to you, dear Big Boss and Peter and Cloudy. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon, friends. See you tomorrow night, hopefully. And if not, have a great weekend.
For homeless veterans and their families. Can you help? A donation of $20 would put us well on our way.
$20 ain't no chicken feed, but sure, I can help you out.
That's very kind. What is your name, sir?
Arthur Morgan.
Your donation will be acknowledged on a founder's plaque when the building is completed. You have a great day, Mr. Morgan.
Well, good luck to you. Seems a worthwhile cause.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Thank you.
Come on, girl.
Look, I'm not being unreasonable. We're better than this.
We cannot replace perfectly good China set because of one chip. Je ne peux pas le croire. Arrêtez! Get away from her! Well, thank you for stepping in, sir.
Lucky there was a real man around here. Thank you.
Right place, right time is all.
papers, huh?
Well, I can't give you full price on account of that might be stolen.